Just a couple of days ago, we learned that Ridley Scott is developing a new Alien movie for 20th Century Fox. And at first thought, I think a lot of people thought that this was just going to be a sequel to Alien Romulus, considering he was a producer of that film and has been largely involved with the Alien franchise since its inception. And one of the reasons for that is that Steve Asabel recently talked to The Hollywood Reporter about plans to develop a sequel to Alien Romulus after its immense success at the box office. But that's also right before Scott talked to THR himself and said the following, quote, "When it comes to a sequel to Alien, Covenant is the best because it leaves the girl in the cryopod and David has alien eggs and 2,000 colonists hanging around. It's a perfect beginning." That's a relatively interesting idea for two reasons. One, it kind of shows that the Prometheus stuff in Romulus wasn't just Freddy Alvarez trying to pay tribute to every iteration of the Alien series. Scott is 100% still interested in that storyline going forward, and so long as he has a say, that story is likely to continue. And two, it at the very least suggests that there's a possibility that Fox is considering some kind of an expansion of the brand as a whole. In that interview with Steve Asabel that he did with THR, he spoke about the continuation of the Predator franchise and how Dan Trachtenberg developed a secret Predator movie on top of Badlands, both of which are premiering in 2025. And it later came to light that that secret movie is just an animated feature that is likely to go directly to streaming. Personally, I think it's a relatively good idea. Both Prey and Alien Romulus showed that people, especially those in younger generations, still appreciate these classic movie monsters when they're done correctly. But it seems a little overblown to flood the theatrical market with multiple iterations of specific concepts, even if those are not tangibly connected concepts. Quite frankly, we are living in the post-MCU era, and people, even though they're somewhat accepting of extended universe and even multiverse at this point, we don't necessarily need a lot of different iterations of characters and concepts that are largely similar to each other. The MCU and DC have a little bit of wiggle room now that they have so many different characters they can play on and a lot of different avenues that they can tell stories with. When it comes to Predator, when it comes to Alien, there's not a whole lot there. I mean, come at me in the comments. Quite frankly, I would pretty much defend this. There's not a whole lot you can do with Alien. There's not a whole lot you can do with Predator, but you can still tell stories, and there's different ways of putting stories in front of people, not just on, the theatrical screens. You can do TV shows, you can do animated shows, you can do whatever it might be. So that's kind of my point there. Anyway, with that being said, if Ridley Scott were to develop an animated sequel to Alien Covenant in an attempt to finish his storyline with David and solidify his alien legacy going forward, think Terminator Zero on Netflix. I think that would be pretty awesome, especially since myself, as well as a lot of people online especially, have a great fondness for Prometheus and Alien Covenant. It's been so many years since we've gotten a continuation of that story that any type of continuation, even if it is an animated sequel on television or some kind of streaming platform thing, anything would be a welcome concept for a lot of people and something that we would greatly appreciate. You can also come back to the story with a sequel to Alien Romulus, as the author of the THR post stated. People keep wondering if there'll be a sequel to Covenant, but it occurs to me that after watching Romulus, that the next movie could do both. Both films ended with a ship headed to a planet we've never been before. There's no reason those characters couldn't end up in the same place. The only reason I disagree here is that I don't think that David's story can continue to be sidelined in favor of a disconnected fright fest. If there is a resolution to be had exploring David's storyline within the Alien universe, at least give us an animated feature that can be finished outright. And that's one of the best things about this concept. You don't have to do a feature film with David. You don't even have to do a TV show with him. You don't have to continue to interconnect it with Romulus. You did enough with Romulus to kind of tell the overall fan base, hey, this stuff still matters. It's still overall canon. And even though we're doing that TV show, it's not set before Prometheus. All this stuff happened. We're dealing with the stories that we've been told. The stuff after Covenant, the stuff that you want to tell in that does not have to be live action. It doesn't have to be a film. It doesn't have to be TV. It can be animated. It can be so many different avenues. The idea that Ridley Scott is still interested in continuing the Covenant storyline to me is really good news and something that I want to see continued going forward. And if Fox is willing to make multiple different Predator concepts in the same year, both a theatrical film and a streaming series or movie or whatever it's going to be, then I think that there is going to be appetite after the immense success of Alien Romulus to give us some kind of a continuation or conclusion of the Alien Covenant Prometheus storyline for fans to finally get over that hump and allow ourselves to be excited for any other continuation of this brand going forward. But I mean, that's just my thoughts.